Failure and rejection are experiences that everyone faces at some point in life. Whether it's missing out on a job, experiencing a breakup, failing a test, or being rejected by friends or colleagues, these moments can leave us feeling crushed, embarrassed, and even hopeless. In a world that seems to glorify success and perfection, failure and rejection often feel like the ultimate setbacks. But what if failure and rejection weren't something to fear? What if, instead of seeing them as devastating blows, we view them as valuable opportunities for growth and self-improvement? This is exactly the perspective that Stoicism offers. The Stoics believed that adversity, failure, and rejection were not only inevitable, but essential to becoming stronger, wiser, and more resilient. In this video, we'll explore the Stoic approach to overcoming failure and rejection, offering timeless wisdom that can help you bounce back with greater confidence and inner peace. One of the central teachings of Stoicism is the idea that we don't control what happens to us, we only control how we respond. This concept comes from the Stoic philosopher Epictetus, who taught that while we cannot control external events, we have complete control over our internal reactions. This means that when we face failure or rejection, it's not the event itself that causes us distress, but the way we choose to interpret and react to it. Imagine you applied for your dream job and didn't get it. It's natural to feel disappointed, maybe even devastated. You might start questioning your worth, doubting your abilities, or feeling embarrassed that you didn't succeed. But the Stoics would encourage you to take a step back and ask yourself, what can I control in this situation? Can I control the decision of the hiring manager? No, can I control how I choose to respond to the rejection? Absolutely. Instead of spiraling into negative self-talk, the Stoic approach would be to focus on what you can learn from the experience. Ask yourself, what can I do differently next time? What skills can I improve on? How can I prepare better for future opportunities? By shifting your focus from what you can't control, the rejection, to what you can control, your response, you turn failure into a learning experience rather than a source of despair. Another key Stoic teaching is that failure and rejection are a natural part of life, not something to be feared. The Stoics believed that adversity was essential for personal growth. In fact, the philosopher Seneca once said, "A gem cannot be polished without friction, nor a man perfected without trials." This means that without challenges, obstacles, and setbacks, we wouldn't have the opportunity to become stronger or wiser. Think about it. Some of the most successful people in history faced countless failures and rejections before achieving greatness. From athletes to entrepreneurs to artists, their stories are often filled with moments of doubt, defeat, and rejection. But what sets them apart is their ability to keep going, to learn from their mistakes, and to use rejection as fuel for future success. The Stoics believed that failure was not a reflection of your worth, but a stepping stone on the path to improvement. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, often reflected on the impermanence of life and the importance of resilience. In his meditations, he wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." This means that the obstacles we face, including failure and rejection, are not barriers to our progress. They are the path to growth. The challenges we encounter are opportunities to build resilience, develop new skills, and deepen our understanding of ourselves and the world around us. So, when you face failure or rejection, remember that it's not the end of the road, it's part of the journey. The Stoics would encourage you to see these setbacks as necessary detours on the way to your destination. Instead of viewing rejection as a sign that you're not good enough, see it as a moment to pause, reflect, and course correct. Every failure is a chance to learn something new, to grow stronger, and to come back even better. Another powerful Stoic practice when dealing with failure and rejection is the idea of self-compassion. While Stoicism is often associated with toughness and resilience, it's also about being kind to yourself in the face of adversity. The Stoics understood that we are all human and that making mistakes is part of being alive. Seneca, in particular, emphasized the importance of treating yourself with patience and understanding. He said, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." This reminds us that much of the pain we experience after failure or rejection comes from our own harsh self-criticism. When you're dealing with rejection, it's easy to be your own worst critic. You might replay the failure in your mind, focusing on what you did wrong or how you could have done better. But the Stoics would advise against this kind of self-punishment. Instead, they would encourage you to treat yourself with the same kindness and compassion you would offer a friend in a similar situation. Recognize that failure is not a reflection of your worth, it's simply a part of the process of learning and growing. In today's world, where social media often presents a curated version of success, it's easy to feel like everyone else is winning while you're struggling. But the Stoics remind us that comparison is the thief of joy. You don't know the full story behind someone else's success, just like they don't know the full story behind your struggles. Instead of comparing yourself to others, focus on your own journey. Each failure, each rejection is uniquely yours, and it's shaping you into the person you're meant to become. It's also important to remember that rejection often isn't personal. When we face rejection, whether in relationships, work, or social situations, it's natural to take it personally. We think, "What's wrong with me? Why wasn't I good enough?" But the Stoics would remind us that rejection is often more about the other person's preferences, needs, or circumstances than it is about our own worth. Just because someone didn't choose you doesn't mean you're not valuable. It just means that, in this specific situation, it wasn't the right fit. And that's okay. The Stoics teach us to let go of the need for approval from others and to focus on what we can control, our own actions and responses. Finally, one of the most powerful ways Stoicism helps us overcome failure and rejection is by reminding us to keep things in perspective. Marcus Aurelius frequently wrote about the vastness of the universe and the fleeting nature of life. He reminded himself that in the grand scheme of things, our worries, failures, and rejections are small and temporary. This perspective doesn't minimize the pain of failure, but it does help put it into context. What seems like a huge setback today might not even matter a year from now, or even a month from now. By keeping a broader perspective, we can reduce the emotional impact of failure and rejection and move forward with greater ease. In conclusion, failure and rejection are an inevitable part of life, but they don't have to define you. The Stoics offer us a way to face these challenges with resilience, grace, and self-compassion. By focusing on what you can control, learning from your mistakes, and maintaining a broader perspective, you can turn failure into an opportunity for growth. Rejection isn't the end of the road, it's a stepping stone on your journey. And with the Stoic mindset, you can keep moving forward, stronger and more confident than before. Remember, as Marcus Aurelius said, the obstacle is the way. Every failure, every rejection, is a chance to become the person you were meant to be. So embrace the setbacks, learn from them, and keep going. The Stoic way teaches us that we are more than our failures, we are defined by how we rise after them.